Have you ever heard a story so wild, so unbelievable, that it just has to be a movie plot? Well, what if I told you one of the most bizarre tales of the 20th century might have actually happened? Today, we're diving deep into one of history's most enduring mysteries, the Philadelphia experiment. The legend takes us back to the height of World War II, October 1943. The U.S. Navy, desperate for an edge over its enemies, allegedly conducted a top-secret experiment aboard the destroyer USS Eldridge, docked in Philadelphia. The initial goal: to make the ship invisible to enemy radar, a crucial advantage in naval warfare. But according to the stories, what happened next went far beyond anyone's wildest imagination. The story goes that American scientists were attempting to apply a radical new technology, supposedly based on Albert Einstein's unified field theory. This theory aimed to connect the forces of electromagnetism and gravity, and if harnessed, that could theoretically allow for the manipulation of space and time itself. As the experiment began, powerful electromagnetic generators aboard the USS Eldridge were switched on. Eyewitnesses, or so the legend claims, saw a strange greenish fog begin to envelop the ship. Then, the impossible happened. The massive steel warship didn't just vanish from radar screens, it vanished from sight altogether. It literally dissolved into the fog and disappeared from the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. But the story gets even stranger. At the very same moment the Eldridge vanished, sailors at the Norfolk Naval Shipyard in Virginia, over 200 miles away, reported a shocking sight. A ghostly destroyer matching the Eldridge's description materialized in the harbor for just a few minutes before disappearing as suddenly as it had arrived. Moments later, back in Philadelphia, the USS Eldridge reappeared in its original spot, shrouded in the same green fog. The experiment was over, but the nightmare had just begun. The most terrifying part of this legend isn't the teleporting ship, but what happened to the crew. The stories are gruesome. When the ship rematerialized, some sailors were found to be fused into the metal bulkheads and decks of the ship, half man, half steel, still alive. Others were reportedly driven completely insane by the experience. Their minds shattered. Some sailors suffered from severe burns, while others would randomly phase in and out of visibility for days or even weeks after the event. A phenomenon they called getting stuck. It's a truly horrifying image, a testament to the supposed dangers of meddling with the fabric of reality. So where did this incredible story come from? A huge part of the legend can be traced back to one man, Carl Allen, who often went by the name Carlos Allende. In the mid-1950s, Allende began writing a series of strange, annotated letters to a UFO researcher named Morris K. Jessup. In these letters, Allende claimed he had been a crewman on a nearby ship, the SS Andrew Furusith, and had witnessed the entire terrifying experiment firsthand. He described the ship's disappearance, the green fog, and the horrific fate of the sailors. His detailed, passionate, and often bizarre letters became the foundation of the Philadelphia experiment legend. Without Carlos Allende, it's possible this story would have never reached the public consciousness. Naturally, a story this extraordinary attracted a lot of attention, and with that attention came a lot of skepticism. Official sources have consistently and firmly denied that any such experiment ever took place. Date: the U.S. Navy has released the ship's logs for the USS Eldridge, which show that on the alleged date of the experiment, the ship was not in Philadelphia at all. In fact, records indicate it was on its shakedown cruise in the Bahamas. Furthermore, the Navy has stated that the kind of technology described in the legend invisibility cloaks and teleportation devices was, and remains, pure science fiction. They maintain that the entire story is a complete fabrication. So, if it's a hoax, how did it start? Skeptics point to a much more plausible, though far less exciting, explanation. The Navy was indeed conducting experiments during World War II, but they had nothing to do with invisibility. One real project, sometimes referred to as Project Rainbow, involved a process called degaussing. This was a method to make a ship invisible, not to the eye, but to magnetic sea mines, PL. By wrapping the hull of a ship in electrical cables and passing a current through them, the ship's magnetic signature could be reduced, making it safe from these underwater threats. This process would have involved large electrical generators and cables, and from a distance, it might have looked mysterious. Some theories suggest that sailors, seeing the strange equipment and hearing whispers about making the ship invisible, simply let their imaginations run wild. Glow could have been caused by an electrical phenomenon known as St. Elmo's fire, which is common at sea. Despite the official denials and plausible scientific explanations, the Philadelphia experiment has refused to die. It has become a cornerstone of modern conspiracy culture and has been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and even major Hollywood films. Why does this story have such a powerful grip on our imagination? I think it is because it touches on so many fascinating themes. The idea of secret government projects hidden from public view, the pursuit of world-changing technology, the terrifying consequences of scientific hubris, and that nagging suspicion that the official story isn't always the whole story. The legend is a perfect storm of mystery, science fiction, and government conspiracy. It also plays on our deep-seated curiosity about the limits of science. Can we bend the laws of physics? Is time travel possible? The Philadelphia experiment provides a tantalizing and terrifying what if. It suggests that perhaps we stumbled upon something incredible, something reassuring, and then covered it up because we were too scared of what we had found. So, decades later, what are we left with? Was the Philadelphia experiment a genuine top-secret project that went horribly wrong? A glimpse into technologies we can only dream of? Or was it simply a misunderstanding of a routine naval procedure, spun into an elaborate myth by a single imaginative individual? The truth is, we may never know for sure. The official documents say one thing, but the legend persists, fueled by a lack of definitive proof either way. But whether it's a historical event or a complete work of fiction, one thing is certain. The story of the USS Eldridge and its alleged journey through space and time has secured its place in history, too. It remains one of the most captivating and unsettling mysteries of the modern age, a story that continues to challenge our understanding of what is and isn't possible. What do you think? Was it a real experiment or a very elaborate hoax? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy diving into mysteries like this one, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. See you next time!